Have you ever found yourself wondering why some men effortlessly draw women towards them while others struggle to keep their attention? What if I told you the secret isn't about trying harder, but about doing less and doing it strategically? Imagine this: you're no longer chasing her approval, no longer overextending yourself just to catch a fleeting moment of her interest. Instead, she's the one leaning in, wondering about you, chasing after you. Sounds too good to be true. It's not. The truth is, most men fall into the trap of overcompensating. They believe the key to attraction is constant attention and validation, bombarding her with messages, likes, and availability. But this approach often backfires, leading to disinterest or even outright rejection. The problem isn't that you're not enough, it's that you're not harnessing the power of presence and absence. In this video, I'll reveal 8 foolproof techniques that not only shift the dynamic in your favor, but transform the way you engage with women entirely. These strategies are rooted in self-worth, confidence, and a stoic approach to relationships. By the end, you won't just be a guy who gets noticed, you'll be the man she can't stop thinking about. Ready to dive in? Let's uncover the first principle that lays the foundation for all the rest: cultivating self-worth and confidence. 1. Cultivate self-worth and confidence. Confidence isn't just about walking into a room with your head held high. It's a quiet, unshakable belief in your own value. But here's a question for you. Do you truly believe you're worthy of being pursued? Or are you secretly seeking validation through her attention? Women are naturally drawn to men who exude self-assurance. Why? Because confidence signals security, capability, and leadership. It tells her you know who you are and what you bring to the table. But here's the twist: true confidence doesn't come from external approval. It's cultivated from within, a principle deeply aligned with Stoicism. The Stoics teach us to focus on what we can control: our thoughts, actions, and attitudes. External opinions, including hers, are beyond your control. So instead of chasing her validation, you focus on becoming the best version of yourself. This shift in mindset is magnetic. When you're grounded in your self-worth, she senses it, and she's drawn to the calm, steady energy you exude. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine 2 men, one constantly seeking her attention, the other quietly pursuing his goals and passions. Which man do you think captivates her more? The first man, despite his efforts, reeks of desperation. The second man, however, is intriguing. His confidence doesn't need to shout, it whispers, and she leans in to hear more. Now, let's break down how you can cultivate this kind of confidence. Start by identifying areas of your life where you're thriving. Are you passionate about your career? Do you have hobbies that light you up? Are you investing in your physical and mental health? Confidence grows when you have a life you're proud of, independent of her presence. But what if you feel like you're not quite there yet? Here's a powerful exercise. Every day, take one step, no matter how small, towards a goal that excites you. This could be hitting the gym, learning a new skill, or even taking time to reflect and journal about your growth. Over time, these actions compound, building a strong foundation of self-worth. Confidence is also about how you carry yourself. Pay attention to your posture, your eye contact, and your tone of voice. Speak clearly and with intention, as if every word you say matters, because it does. Women notice the little things, and these subtle cues signal that you're a man who respects himself and commands respect from others. Here's another critical point. Confident men handle rejection with grace. Not every woman will be interested, and that's okay. Instead of taking it personally, see it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Remember, her response doesn't define your worth, your response to the situation does. This resilience not only makes you stronger, but more attractive. Lastly, confidence allows you to set boundaries. When you know your value, you won't tolerate behavior that undermines it. If she's disrespectful or dismissive, you're willing to walk away, not as a game, but as a reflection of your self-respect. And believe me, nothing turns the tables faster than a man who values himself enough to step back. So ask yourself, what can you do today to start building unshakable confidence? How can you shift from seeking external validation to owning your worth? As we dive into the next techniques, keep this foundation in mind. Confidence is the core of every strategy we'll explore, and it's the reason why these techniques work so powerfully. Are you ready to take this journey? Because the next step will show you how to cultivate an abundance mindset, another game changer in making her chase you. Stay tuned. In tuned. 2. Embrace an abundance mindset. Let's dive into the next transformative technique, embracing an abundance mindset. Now, this might sound like some lofty concept, but let's break it down in a way that's practical and powerful. Imagine this. You're no longer consumed by thoughts of her. You're not agonizing over whether she texts back or analyzing every small interaction. Why? Because you know there's a world full of potential connections, and your happiness doesn't hinge on just one person. Here's the trap many men fall into. They treat one woman like she's the only one who could ever make them happy. This scarcity mindset is the silent killer of attraction. When you operate from this space, you unconsciously project neediness, even if you think you're hiding it well. Women can feel it. It's like walking into a room and smelling desperation. It's impossible to ignore, and it's a major turnoff. But what happens when you shift to an abundance mindset? Everything changes. Instead of seeing her as your only option, you start to recognize the infinite possibilities around you. You're not just focused on her, you're focused on yourself, your growth, and the amazing opportunities life has to offer. This perspective is incredibly liberating, and here's the best part. It makes you infinitely more attractive. Let's be honest. Have you ever noticed that people who are least desperate for attention often receive the most? That's the power of abundance. It's not just about believing there are more fish in the sea. It's about understanding that your worth isn't tied to anyone's approval. This mindset shift is pure gold, and when you embrace it, you'll notice something incredible. Women will start to sense that you're different. You're not clinging or chasing, you're thriving, and that makes them curious. Here's a practical way to start cultivating this mindset. Broaden your social circle. Don't limit yourself to one woman or one potential connection. Meet new people, engage in different communities, and build meaningful relationships. This isn't about playing games or collecting numbers, it's about living a full, rich life. When you're surrounded by positivity and possibilities, you naturally stop fixating on any one person. Another essential part of abundance is learning to let go. When a woman doesn't reciprocate your interest, don't see it as a personal failure. Instead, view it as a redirection, a sign that someone better aligned with you is out there. Every no simply brings you closer to the right yes. This resilience is deeply rooted in Stoicism, a philosophy that teaches us to focus on what we can control and release what we cannot. When you embody this principle, you radiate calm confidence, and trust me, she'll notice. Let me share a story. There was a man who once obsessed over a single relationship. He poured all his energy into making it work, despite the clear signs that it wasn't mutual. When it finally ended, he felt lost. But instead of wallowing, he decided to focus on himself. He started traveling, picked up new hobbies, and expanded his social circle. Now, what happened next was remarkable. Not only did he meet someone who was a better fit, but the woman he once obsessed over came back, curious about his newfound glow. Why? Because his abundance mindset made him irresistible. Think about this. What if every setback in dating was actually an opportunity for growth? How would your interactions change if you approached them with the belief that you're always moving towards something better? Women aren't drawn to men who cling, they're drawn to men who thrive. Now let me ask you, are you ready to stop operating from scarcity? What's one thing you can do this week to broaden your horizons and live more abundantly? Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. And if this insight resonates with you, hit that like button to let me know we're on the same page. Your engagement helps us grow this community and continue delivering strategies that elevate your dating game. And don't go anywhere. Up next, we'll dive into how creating absence can make her value your presence even more. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. 3. Create absence to increase value. Let's shift gears and explore one of the most counterintuitive yet powerful techniques in attraction: the art of creating absence. You've likely heard the phrase, absence makes the heart grow fonder, but have you ever considered why this works? Humans, by nature, tend to place higher value on things that are less available. When you're constantly present, always accessible, and forever eager to respond, your value in her eyes can subtly diminish. But when you create intentional space, something magical happens. Curiosity and longing begin to take root. Think about the last time someone you admired suddenly became less available. Did you find yourself thinking about them more, wondering what they were up to? That's the power of absence in action. When you're not constantly in her orbit, she has the opportunity to reflect on your interactions, to miss your presence, and to appreciate the moments you do share. Absence fuels anticipation, and anticipation heightens attraction. But let's be clear, creating absence doesn't mean disappearing entirely or playing manipulative games. It's about balancing your availability with moments of intentional distance. This space allows her to experience what life feels like without your constant presence. And if the connection is meaningful, she'll crave more of you. Here's the psychology behind it. When you're always there, it's easy for her to take you for granted. Your texts, calls, and attention become part of her routine, expected and eventually mundane. By stepping back, you break that routine, introducing an element of unpredictability. Suddenly, she's wondering why you haven't texted today or what's keeping you busy. That slight uncertainty creates a spark of intrigue, drawing her attention back to you. However, there's an art to this. The key is to be genuinely engaged in your own life during these periods of absence. Use this time to focus on your passions, invest in your personal growth, and cultivate new experiences. Not only does this make you more interesting and well-rounded, but it also ensures that your absence is authentic. You're not pretending to be busy, you're actually busy living a fulfilling life. Consider this. If you're constantly available, you're signaling that you have little else going on. But when you're occasionally absent, you're sending a powerful message. I value my time, and I have a life that excites me. This doesn't diminish your interest in her. Instead, it shows that you're a man who knows how to balance connection with independence. Now, let's not forget the element of mystery that absence creates. Mystery is one of the most potent ingredients in attraction. When you're not an open book, when you don't immediately share every detail of your life, you leave room for her imagination to fill in the blanks. And as any storyteller knows, what we imagine is often more captivating than what we see plainly. Picture this scenario. After a few days of limited interaction, you casually mention in passing that you've been working on an exciting project or trying out a new hobby. Instantly, she's intrigued. She starts to wonder about this aspect of your life that she's not fully privy to, and that curiosity pulls her closer. It's a subtle yet powerful way to keep her invested in getting to know you. But let me issue a word of caution here. Absence should never be wielded as a weapon. It's not about punishing her or playing hard to get in a manipulative sense. It's about creating a healthy dynamic where both of you have the space to appreciate each other fully. Genuine absence stems from your commitment to self-respect and personal growth, not from a desire to control or manipulate her emotions. In the words of Stoicism, we must detach from the need for constant validation. When you practice absence, you're not clinging to a response, you're simply allowing the natural rhythm of attraction to unfold. This detachment not only keeps you grounded, but also makes you irresistibly magnetic. To sum it up, creating absence is about enhancing your perceived value through intentional distance. It fosters intrigue, prevents stagnation, and allows her to experience what life feels like without you. And when she does, if the connection is meaningful, she'll find herself drawn back, eager for more of your presence. 4. Maintain independence and pursue your passions. Let's talk about one of the most attractive qualities you can possess: independence. There's a certain allure in a man who has a life rich with purpose, passion, and personal fulfillment. Independence isn't just about being physically apart or having your own schedule. It's about embodying a mindset that says, I'm complete as I am. This is a mindset that captivates because it signals you're not reliant on anyone else, especially her, for your happiness or sense of identity. So women are naturally drawn to men who are self-sufficient and have their own pursuits. Why? Because independence suggests strength, ambition, and a sense of direction. It shows that you're a man who knows what he wants and is actively working toward it. When you have a life filled with meaningful activities, she'll see you as someone who adds value to her world, rather than someone who clings to hers. But here's where many men get it wrong. They center their lives around the woman they're interested in. Every plan, every decision, every bit of free time suddenly revolves around her. So while this might seem like a way to show commitment, it often has the opposite effect. It can feel suffocating and make her question whether you have anything going on beyond your relationship with her. Now imagine this instead: you're deeply engaged in your own passions. Whether it's your career, a hobby, or a side project, you're fully immersed in pursuits that light you up. Maybe you're training for a marathon, learning a new instrument, or building your dream business. Every day you're waking up with purpose and taking steps toward your goals. When you're living this way, something powerful happens. Your focus shifts from constantly trying to impress her to simply sharing your vibrant, exciting life with her. And trust me, she'll notice. She'll be drawn to your energy, your enthusiasm, and your dedication. She'll want to be part of your world, not because you need her to complete it, but because it's already so fulfilling. Here's another crucial element of independence: your social life. Maintaining strong friendships and engaging with your community not only enriches your life, but also demonstrates that you're a well-rounded individual. When she sees that you're respected and valued by others, it reinforces her perception of your worth. Plus, having a diverse social circle gives you stories to share, experiences to reflect on, and a broader perspective on life, all of which make you more interesting and engaging. But let's be clear, independence doesn't mean shutting her out or refusing to make time for her. It's about balance. When you're with her, you're fully present, enjoying the connection and deepening your bond. But when you're apart, you're equally committed to your personal growth and pursuits. This ebb and flow create a dynamic that keeps the relationship fresh and exciting. Independence also requires setting boundaries. For example, if you've set aside time to work on a project or spend time with friends, stick to it. This isn't about being rigid or inflexible. It's about valuing your commitments and teaching her to do the same. When she sees that you're serious about your priorities, she'll respect you more and feel more secure in the relationship. Why? Because she knows she's with a man who respects himself. There's also a deeper psychological component at play. When you're independent, you're less likely to fall into patterns of overthinking or overanalyzing the relationship. You're not constantly seeking reassurance or wondering where things stand because your self-worth isn't tied to her validation. This emotional stability is incredibly attractive. It creates a safe space where she feels free to connect with you without the pressure of being your sole source of happiness. In the philosophy of Stoicism, there's a powerful concept: the idea that true freedom comes from within. When you cultivate independence, you're not only free from external pressures, but also from the internal need for constant approval. This inner freedom makes you unshakable. Whether she's in your life or not, you remain grounded, focused, and fulfilled. So what does this look like in practice? It's simple but profound. Prioritize your goals. Invest time in your passions. Nurture your relationships with family and friends. And most importantly, remember that your life is your own masterpiece, with or without her in it. When you live this way, you'll find that not only do women become more interested in you, but you also experience a deeper sense of satisfaction and purpose. Independence isn't just attractive, it's essential for building a healthy, balanced relationship. It shows her that you're a man who's already thriving, and that's the kind of man she'll want to chase. 5. Practice digital indifference. In today's world, your online presence can speak as loudly as your in-person interactions. Social media has become a stage where people showcase their lives, seek validation, and, let's be honest, sometimes overplay their hand. Here's the thing: when it comes to attraction, the way you navigate social media can either elevate your mystique or completely dismantle it. This brings us to our next strategy: digital indifference. Now, let me ask you this. Have you ever felt the urge to constantly like her posts, leave comments on every selfie, or keep checking if she's viewed your story? It's easy to fall into this trap, especially when you're drawn to someone. But here's the harsh reality: this kind of digital obsession can come off as needy, and neediness is kryptonite to attraction. When you flood her feed with likes or overly engage with her online, you're sending a clear signal. I'm watching, I'm waiting, and I'm invested. This not only removes any sense of mystery, but also creates an imbalance where you appear more interested in her than she is in you. The more accessible and predictable you become in the digital space, the less intrigued she'll be. So what's the alternative? Practice digital indifference. This doesn't mean ghosting her or pretending social media doesn't exist. Instead, it's about maintaining a healthy detachment from her online activities. You're not anxiously waiting for her next post or constantly engaging with her content. You're living your life, and social media is just a small part of it. Here's how it works. The next time she posts something, resist the urge to immediately like or comment. Let some time pass, or better yet, skip engaging altogether. When you do interact, make it intentional and meaningful. A well-placed comment or reaction can carry far more weight when it's not buried under dozens of likes and emojis. She'll start to notice and wonder why you're not as available online as others. But the real magic of digital indifference lies in focusing on your own life. Instead of spending hours scrolling through her feed, use that time to post about your own passions, achievements, and adventures. Show, not tell, that you have a vibrant, fulfilling life. When she sees you thriving, she'll naturally be drawn to learn more about you, both online and offline. There's another layer to this: mystery. In the age of oversharing, mystery is a rare and powerful commodity. When you're not constantly updating your every move or reacting to hers, you create an air of intrigue. She'll wonder what you're up to, why you're not as digitally present as others, and what you're thinking. That curiosity can be a potent force in drawing her closer. Now, let's talk about balance. Practicing digital indifference doesn't mean ignoring her completely or never engaging with her online. It's about finding the sweet spot where your interactions feel natural, confident, and scarce enough to be valued. Remember, scarcity increases perceived value. When your digital presence is selective and purposeful, it enhances your overall appeal. Lastly, let's not overlook the psychological benefits of this approach. By detaching from her online presence, you free yourself from the emotional roller coaster of likes, comments, and perceived attention. You're no longer measuring your worth through her digital engagement. Instead, you're grounded in your own confidence and self-worth, a principle deeply rooted in Stoicism. So how can you start practicing digital indifference today? Begin by auditing your online behavior. Are you over-engaging? Are you using social media as a way to seek her validation? If so, take a step back. Focus on creating a digital presence that reflects your true self, authentic, confident, and independent. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you noticed how digital behavior impacts attraction? What strategies have you tried to maintain a sense of mystery online? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation going. If you're finding value in these insights, don't forget to like this video. It helps us reach more people and continue sharing these powerful strategies. And don't go anywhere. Up next, we'll explore how setting boundaries and responding to disrespect can transform the dynamic in any relationship. Stay tuned. 6. Set boundaries and respond to disrespect with absence. Let's get real for a moment. Every healthy relationship, whether it's a budding romance or a long-term partnership, hinges on one critical factor: mutual respect. Without it, the foundation begins to crack, leading to imbalances, misunderstandings, and ultimately dissatisfaction. But here's the challenge. How do you ensure respect while still maintaining an open, authentic connection? The answer lies in setting clear boundaries and knowing when to step back. Boundaries are your personal guardrails. They define what behavior is acceptable and what crosses the line. They're not about control or manipulation. They're about communicating your needs and protecting your self-respect. And here's the truth. When you establish boundaries, you're not only safeguarding your own well-being, but also teaching her how to treat you. Think about it. Have you ever let something slide in the early stages of a relationship only to feel resentment later on? Maybe it was a dismissive comment or a habit that clashed with your values. Ignoring these moments might seem easier at first, but over time they erode your self-esteem and signal that you tolerate disrespect. That's why setting boundaries from the outset is so crucial. Here's the key. Boundaries are most effective when paired with action. It's not enough to simply express your expectations. You need to follow through if they're crossed. This is where the power of absence comes into play. When someone disrespects you, stepping back sends a clear, non-verbal message. I value myself too much to stay in an environment that undermines my worth. Absence in the face of disrespect achieves two things. First, it gives you the space to regain your composure and reflect on the situation. It allows you to step away from any emotional turbulence and respond from a place of clarity and strength. Second, it creates an opportunity for her to reflect on her actions. When you're no longer readily available, she'll start to notice the impact of her behavior, and if she values the connection, she'll take steps to address it. Let's be clear. Responding with absence isn't about playing games or using silence as punishment. It's about prioritizing your mental and emotional health. It's about demonstrating that you respect yourself enough to walk away from interactions that don't align with your values. This is a hallmark of inner strength, a concept deeply rooted in Stoicism, which teaches us to remain steadfast and composed in the face of external challenges. Here's a practical example. Imagine she consistently cancels plans at the last minute without a valid reason. If this behavior bothers you, it's essential to address it calmly and directly. You might say something like, I value my time and prefer when plans are respected. If this continues, I'll need to rethink how we spend time together. If the behavior persists, instead of engaging in a back and forth or trying to convince her to change, step back. Stop initiating plans and give her the space to consider her actions. By doing this, you're not only protecting your time and energy, but also reinforcing a crucial dynamic. Respect is non-negotiable. When you're willing to withdraw from situations that don't honor your boundaries, you show her and yourself that your self-worth is independent of her validation. Another important aspect of setting boundaries is understanding your own triggers and limits. Take time to reflect on what truly matters to you in a relationship. Is it open communication, reliability, mutual effort? Once you're clear on your values, it becomes easier to identify when they're being compromised and to take the necessary steps to address it. But what happens if she reacts negatively to your boundaries? Some might push back, testing whether you'll stand firm. This is where your resolve is crucial. Remember, boundaries aren't about pleasing others. They're about honoring yourself. If someone can't respect your limits, it's a clear sign that the dynamic may not be aligned. And while walking away from such connections can be tough, it ultimately opens the door for healthier, more fulfilling relationships. The beauty of setting boundaries is that it fosters mutual respect. When both parties feel valued and understood, the relationship becomes a space where each person can thrive. It's a dynamic where you're not afraid to voice your needs, and she's encouraged to do the same, leading to a partnership built on equality and understanding. In the end, setting boundaries and responding to disrespect with absence isn't just a technique for attracting women. It's a life skill that empowers you in all your relationships. It's a practice that strengthens your sense of self, deepens your connections, and ensures that every interaction is rooted in mutual respect. And that, more than anything, is the cornerstone of a meaningful and lasting relationship. 7. Create mystery and intrigue. Let's face it, predictability can be the silent killer of attraction. When someone knows exactly what you're going to do, say, or feel at every moment, the excitement of discovery begins to fade. But when there's an air of mystery about you, when you leave just enough unsaid to spark curiosity, you become infinitely more compelling. This brings us to one of the most powerful tools in your arsenal, the ability to create mystery and intrigue. And think about the last time you were drawn to someone. Wasn't part of the allure the fact that you didn't know everything about them right away? There's a thrill in peeling back the layers, in wondering what's beneath the surface. When you become an open book too quickly, you deprive her of that journey of discovery. But when you hold back, strategically and authentically, you ignite her curiosity, making her want to learn more. So how do you cultivate mystery without coming across as aloof or disingenuous? It starts with embracing the power of selective sharing. Not every story, opinion, or experience needs to be laid out on the table immediately. Instead of volunteering all the details of your day or your life's history, consider sharing just enough to spark her interest. For example, if she asks about your weekend, you might say, "It was eventful. I tried something new that really pushed me out of my comfort zone." And then let her ask the follow-up questions if she's curious. This gives her the chance to invest in the conversation and keeps the dynamic engaging. Another aspect of mystery is unpredictability. If every interaction follows the same pattern, it becomes easy for her to anticipate your next move. But when you occasionally break the mold, perhaps by surprising her with an unexpected compliment, sharing an unusual perspective, or doing something spontaneous, you keep her on her toes. This unpredictability adds a sense of excitement to your interactions, making her eager to see what you'll do next. Here's the catch. Creating mystery isn't about playing games or deliberately withholding important information. It's about cultivating an authentic sense of depth. You want her to know that there's more to you than what meets the eye, a world of experiences, thoughts, and dreams that she'll uncover in time. This depth makes you fascinating and keeps her engaged in the long run. Mystery also extends beyond your conversations to your overall lifestyle. When you're constantly engaged in new activities, pursuing personal growth, and exploring different facets of life, you naturally become a more intriguing person. I shall start to wonder what you're up to when you're not around, what drives your passions, and what experiences have shaped you. This kind of curiosity is incredibly magnetic. A crucial part of maintaining intrigue is mastering the art of leaving some things to the imagination. Whether it's in your personal stories or even your social media presence, less is often more. For instance, when you post online, don't give away every detail of your life. Instead, share highlights or moments that hint at a larger narrative. Subtle approach invites her and others to fill in the blanks, making you more captivating. Let's take a moment to reflect on why mystery is so powerful. At its core, intrigue taps into the human desire for exploration and discovery. People are naturally drawn to what they don't fully understand, and when you embody this sense of enigma, you become someone worth chasing. You're no longer just another man vying for her attention. You're the puzzle she wants to solve, the story she wants to unfold. Now, here's a question for you. Have you ever noticed how quickly conversations fizzle when everything is laid out up front? How much more engaging would your interactions be if you left her wanting more? Think about a time when someone left you curious about their next move or their inner world. That pull, that intrigue is what keeps connections alive and thriving. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Have you tried incorporating mystery into your interactions before? What's worked for you and what hasn't? Share your experiences in the comments below. And if you're enjoying these insights and feel like you're learning something new, hit that like button. It helps us bring this content to more people and keep the conversation going. Next, we'll explore the final technique, how mastering communication can elevate your interactions and solidify a connection built on mutual respect and understanding. You won't want to miss it. 8. Communicate thoughtfully and avoid immediate responses. Effective communication is the backbone of any successful relationship. It's not just about what you say, but how and when you say it. One of the most common mistakes men make is feeling the need to respond immediately to every message or call, believing that quick responses demonstrate interest or dedication. But here's the reality. Constantly being at her beck and call can unintentionally signal neediness and a lack of self-prioritization. When you rush to reply the moment you hear a notification, you're essentially conveying that nothing else in your life holds as much importance. This can create an imbalance where she begins to take your attention for granted. And moreover, the habit of immediate responses leaves little room for reflection, often leading to shallow, less impactful conversations. Instead, adopt a more measured approach. Take time to think before you respond. This doesn't mean playing mind games or intentionally delaying for hours just to seem busy. It's about showing that you value your time and conversations enough to provide thoughtful replies. When you respond at your own pace, you project confidence and self-assurance, two traits that are inherently attractive. Let's explore why this approach works. When you pause before replying, you allow the conversation to breathe. It shifts the dynamic, creating a subtle sense of anticipation. She might start to wonder, what's he doing? Why hasn't he responded yet? This curiosity keeps the interaction dynamic and engaging, as she'll find herself more invested in what you have to say. Moreover, thoughtful communication ensures that your responses carry weight. When you take the time to craft a meaningful reply, it shows that you're genuinely engaged in the conversation. Compare this to rapid-fire replies that lack depth or consideration. It's easy to see which approach leaves a lasting impression. Another important aspect of thoughtful communication is setting the tone for how your interactions unfold. For example, if she sends a casual message and you immediately dive into a lengthy reply, you may overwhelm the natural flow of the exchange. On the other hand, when your responses are concise, intentional, and well-timed, they encourage a balanced and mutual dialogue. This approach also applies during moments of conflict or disagreement. When emotions are high, an immediate response can often escalate the situation or lead to misunderstandings. By stepping back and taking a moment to reflect, you're better positioned to respond with clarity and composure, fostering healthier and more constructive communication. This is a principle aligned with Stoicism, where controlling your reactions in the face of external stimuli is key to maintaining inner peace. Thoughtful communication doesn't just enhance your interactions with her, it also reinforces your sense of self-respect. When you're not constantly available or rushing to respond, you demonstrate that your life is filled with purpose and that your time is valuable. So naturally sets a standard for how you expect to be treated in return. But what about scenarios where she initiates contact at an inconvenient time? Here's where boundaries come into play. If you're in the middle of something important, whether it's work, a personal project, or even self-care, prioritize that. Respond when you're genuinely free and ready to engage. This not only shows that you respect your own commitments, but also teaches her to value the time and attention you do give. In essence, communicating thoughtfully is about fostering quality over quantity. It's about showing that your conversations are worth investing in, and that you're not just reacting to every ping or notification out of habit. This approach deepens the connection and ensures that every exchange feels intentional and meaningful. By mastering this balance, you set the stage for a relationship dynamic rooted in mutual respect and understanding. She'll appreciate the effort and presence you bring to your interbrank's actions, and you'll feel more confident and in control of your communication. This thoughtful approach enhances not just your romantic connections, but all your relationships, creating a foundation for meaningful and lasting bonds. We've now journeyed through 8 transformative techniques that can shift the dynamics of your relationships and make you a man worth pursuing. Each strategy, when applied thoughtfully, builds upon the others to create a powerful framework for attraction rooted in self-worth, confidence, and balance. At the core of these techniques lies a profound truth. True attraction stems from within. When you prioritize your own growth, embrace your independence, and communicate with intention, you naturally draw others toward you. These principles aren't about manipulation or superficial tactics. They're about cultivating a deep sense of authenticity and self-respect. Consider the power of absence, the allure of mystery, and the strength in setting boundaries. These are not just tools for attracting a woman, they are life skills that enhance every aspect of your personal and social life. When you live with purpose, when your actions are aligned with your values, you become someone who doesn't just chase after fleeting connections, but builds meaningful and lasting relationships. Throughout this guide, we've also touched on the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, a philosophy that teaches us to focus on what we can control and to detach from what we cannot. By applying these principles, you remain grounded and composed, regardless of external circumstances. This resilience and inner peace make you a steady presence in any relationship, a quality that women find irresistible. So as you reflect on these strategies, ask yourself, how can you start integrating them into your daily life? What steps will you take to cultivate confidence, embrace an abundance mindset, and communicate with greater intention? The answers to these questions will not only enhance your relationships but also help you become the best version of yourself. Now it's your turn. If you found value in these insights, take a moment to share your thoughts and experiences. Which of these techniques resonated with you the most? Have you already seen the impact of some of these principles in your interactions? I'd love to hear your stories and feedback in the comments below. And don't forget, if you're ready to dive deeper into this journey of self-improvement and relationship mastery, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. Together, we're building a community of men committed to living with purpose, confidence, and respect. Thank you for being part of this journey, and here's to your continued growth and success. See you in the next video.